Education Day has been marked across the country today. Despite annual investment of 200 billion rupees, the standard of education is yet to improve in Nepal. Also in this edition of Kantipur News, we have updates about Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal's address at the UN General Assembly and the UEFA Champions League. Good evening, I'm Chitrakar and these are the headlines of the hour. National Education Day observed throughout the country today. No improvement seen in the standard of education despite annual investment of 200 billion rupees. Prime Minister Dahal addresses the Sustainable Development Goals Summit in New York, says COVID-19 pandemic, climate change and geopolitical tensions are challenges to achieving sustainable development goals. A senior Canadian diplomat ordered to leave India hours after Ottawa expelled an Indian diplomat in an escalating rift over the killing of a Sikh separatist earlier this year. And a group stage of the UEFA Champions League begins tonight. Defending champions Manchester City take on Red Star Belgrade. PSG play Dortmund. After the government decided to observe the National Education Day on the day the Compulsory and Free Education Act was implemented, the day is being celebrated today for the first time on the 2nd of Asoj as per the Nepali calendar by organizing various programs throughout the country. The National Education Day is being observed across the country today under the slogan Inclusive and Skill-Based Education and Retention of Youths within the country. Although the government has been investing more than 200 billion rupees in education from the pre-primary level to university level, there has been no significant achievement in student learning. Almost 4.2 million students are currently studying in around 28,000 community schools in the country. Although the government has given priority to improve the standard of education at community schools by raising the budget, there has been no improvement in learning by students. According to the Education Standard Test Center, the achievements by students in subjects of mathematics, science, English and Nepali have gone down. In last year's secondary education examination SEE, 42% or 204,000 students received grade E or D. Likewise, 49% of students in grade 12 have failed. The Education Ministry has accepted that teachings in schools have been feeble as it is difficult to find teachers for mathematics, science and English subjects. The situation towards technical education is no different. In technical institutions under the CTE-VT, the student number is low while there is scarcity of teachers as well, which has lowered the standard of education. The situation is the same in higher education. The increasing political interference in universities and frequent strikes by professors and students have affected studies and resulted in the delay in conducting exams and publishing results. The government has failed to give priority to keeping politics away from educational institutions and making management strong, due to which students are leaving the country in big numbers to study abroad. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal has said that it will be a challenge for the least developed countries to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by the year 2030. Premier Dahal, who is in New York to participate in the 78th General Assembly of the United Nations, addressed the 2023 Sustainable Development Goals Summit, saying that developed nations should provide financial assistance as per their commitment. Prime Minister Dahal, who is also the chair of the group of least developed countries, stated that it would be a challenge for the LDCs to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by the year 2030 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, climate change and geopolitical tensions. Premier Dahal proposed for bringing additional plans to uplift the standards of the least developed countries. Premier Dahal expressed concern that foreign direct investment in LDCs had declined by approximately 30% in 2022 compared to the previous year. Dahal said the decline had severe consequences for essential sectors, including infrastructure, renewable energy, drinking water, food security, healthcare and education. Prime Minister Dahal said that steps need to be taken to address debt distress of the LDCs by 2025 and priority should be given to find a timely solution to the problem. After addressing the United Nations General Assembly, Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal is leaving for China on the 22nd of September. Prime Minister Dahal has prioritized implementation of previous agreements and understandings as his major agenda for the China visit. Prime Minister Dahal has said that expansion of aid in transformative projects for roads, energy and connectivity are also to be prioritized. Almost 24 projects are in operation with the Chinese aid in Nepal. Following the agreement related to financial aid between the two countries of October 1956, China has been providing aid for Nepal's construction of infrastructures, industrialization, development of human resources, health, education, and water resources, among other sectors. The Chinese aid, which was limited to road and industries until 34 years ago, has now expanded to railway projects, tunnelways, and electricity transmission lines as well. Almost 24 projects with Chinese aid are currently in operation that include Nepal-China cross-border railway, Tokha-Chahare and Moilung-Safrubesi tunnelway, second phase of Kathmandu Ring Road Improvement Project, upgrading of civil hospital and expansion of Bir Hospital in Duakot of Bhaktapur, among others. The trolley bus service, which had begun 48 years ago with the Chinese aid, has already been closed, while Basbari Leather Shoe Factory, Harisiddhi Tile, Brikuti Paper Factory, among half a dozen industries, have remained shut. China has shared grievances regarding the delay in project works caused by encroachment at the project area, complications related to felling of trees and relocation of electric infrastructures. According to the Ministry of Finance, China has invested $45 billion in Nepal by April 2023. While China used to provide aid to Nepal in the initial phase, it began providing both subsidized loans and aid from the 1980s. Since the Belt and Road Initiative's BRI agreement of 2017, China has been prioritizing loans in most projects. Of the $37 million invested last year, most of it is loans. Meanwhile, experts have said that aid should be prioritized by Nepal in such projects, while development works should be given continuity by using soft loans if required. Despite the increase in frequency of high-level visits and agreements between the two nations in the past 8 years, implementation aspect has remained feeble. China is yet to provide the $3.7 million committed to Nepal during Chinese President Xi Jinping's Nepal visit. Projects including the construction of railway are also yet to gain momentum. Therefore, it is imperative for Prime Minister Dahal to stress on implementation of past agreements rather than prioritizing new projects during his upcoming China visit. Academic activities remained at a complete halt in Dolakha after the teachers of the community schools left for Kathmandu for their protest. The schools remained closed after the teachers of the community schools left for Kathmandu to attend tomorrow's protest program. The teachers have shifted their focus to the protest in Kathmandu against the arrangement of having them under the local levels on the basis of the constitutional provision which assigns the jurisdiction of up to secondary level to the local levels. While several schools have issued a notice of holidays for festivities, many others have stated rescheduling of classes and shut the schools. Teachers of community schools have been agitated against the Education Act, which has been registered at the Parliament. Service was affected for 2 hours following some issues in the server of the Immigration Department of the Tribhuvan International Airport. The passengers who had reached the airport for their flights were compelled to bear the brunt following problems in the server. Director of the Department of Immigration, Kimraj Bhushal, said that the problems had surfaced in the server of the National Information Technology Center. The department has said that the passengers' travel was facilitated on the basis of documents after the computers failed to operate. Immigration officials provided services related to visas through handwritten documents. The servers had begun facing issues and did not operate until 12:30 p.m. The department has said that no passengers missed their flights. However, several services, including stamps on the passengers leaving Nepal and returning from abroad, issue of visa and fines, among others, were delayed. Meanwhile, National Information Technology Centre Executive Director Pradeep Sharma Paudel has said that the problem was not because of the server but because of technical issues of the department. Services of the TIA have been affected in the past as well because of server-related issues. Despite repetitive issues in the server, the government has yet to make efforts to address them. Apples of Mustang, considered the district beyond the mountains, have reached the marketplaces. Prime Minister Agriculture Modernization Project Implementation Unit Apple Zone Mustang has said that despite the increase in production of hybrid apples, production of local apples was expected to reduce by up to 20% because of adverse weather conditions. The Apple Zone office has said that Golden, Royal and Red Delicious, Richard and Fuji apples have been sent to marketplaces. According to the office, apple has been planted over 1,580 ropanis of land in Mustang. Farmers of Mustang had generated 720 million rupees by selling 5,600 metric tons of apples last year. With around 8,000 metric tons of apples expected to be produced this year, the farmers aim to generate around 1 billion rupees. Marfa, Sauru, Chokopani, Chimang, Khowang, Tukuche, Chomsom, Kagbeni, Pakling, Lupra and Tambe, among other places, are apple pocket areas in Mustang. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question: what should be done to curb the random use of antibiotics? The options are A. Accountability of doctors, B. Effective monitoring, and C. Public awareness. Voting is on. Tap any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for international update. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said authorities were actively pursuing credible allegations linking New Delhi's agents to the murder of a Sikh separatist leader, a concern India dismissed as absurd. The spat deals a fresh blow to diplomatic ties that have been fraying for years, with New Delhi unhappy over Sikh separatist activity in Canada. It now threatens trade ties too, with talks on a proposed trade deal frozen last week. Each nation also expelled a diplomat in tat-for-tat moves, with Canada throwing out India's top intelligence agent there, while New Delhi responded by giving a Canadian diplomat 5 days to leave. Trudeau told the House of Commons in an emergency statement that any involvement of a foreign government in the killing of a Canadian citizen was an unacceptable violation of its sovereignty. He was referring to 45-year-old Hardeep Singh Nijjar, shot dead outside a Sikh temple on June 18 in Surrey, a Vancouver suburb with a large Sikh population, 3 years after India had designated him as a terrorist. Nijjar supported a Sikh homeland in the form of an independent, so-called state of Khalistan in India's northern state of Punjab, the birthplace of the Sikh religion, which borders Pakistan. India's foreign ministry said it had given the Canadian diplomat 5 days to leave the country without disclosing his name or rank. The ministry had summoned Cameron MacKay, Canada's High Commissioner or Ambassador in New Delhi, to notify him of the move. Earlier, New Delhi urged Ottawa to take action against anti-Indian elements in Canada. Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. National Education Day observed throughout the country today. No improvement seen in the standard of education despite annual investment of 200 billion rupees. Prime Minister Dahal addresses the Sustainable Development Goals Summit in New York, says COVID-19 pandemic, climate change and geopolitical tensions are challenges to achieving SDGs. A senior Canadian diplomat ordered to leave India hours after Ottawa expelled an Indian diplomat in an escalating rift over the killing of a Sikh separatist earlier this year. And a group stage of the UEFA Champions League begins tonight. Defending champions Manchester City take on Red Star Belgrade. PSG play Dortmund. That's all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will be at 10:30 tonight. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.